In the last year, I put on 30 pounds of muscle while working, being busy with relationships, having a social life, and also trying to post on social media. And this was my physique in February of last year, and this was my physique in February of this year. So this is literally every single thing that I did to get in the best shape of my life. So if you don't like the shape you're in, if you look in the mirror and you're disgusted with yourself, you see a fat, flabby body, or you just see bones and a physique that you don't like, I'm gonna show you exactly how you can solve that. And I'm basically gonna walk you through my whole framework on how to get jacked as if you were like one of my clients. Like if you were paying me to be your coach, this is the exact stuff that I would walk through. These are the exact resources I would send you. So I'm gonna put recipes, I'm gonna put workout routines, the whole 9 yards. So the first and the most important thing for you to get in shape is getting your mindset right. And I know this sounds like super cliche and boring, but it's really the most important part, because everything else I'm gonna talk about in this video doesn't work if you don't work. All right, there's tons of information out there. You probably already know about a calorie surplus and a calorie deficit and how many days a week you need to lift. But what you can't do is stay consistent. And this was my biggest problem with my diet. Diet was my biggest struggle for the first 2 years of my lifting journey. Like I used to be addicted to sugar and I'd just be eating that stuff every single day. Like I was like a crack fiend, but for sugar. Like I wanted to get it at all costs. So eventually I started fixing my mindset. I started focusing more on discipline and really cleaning up my diet. And that's when I really saw good results. When I started getting consistent and showing up every single day. Because the thing is, 90% of the programs out there, 90% of the diets out there, they all work. Like keto works, carnivore works, vegan works, animal-based, like everything works. Okay, probably not vegan. Like vegan's a lot more difficult, it doesn't work as well. Like just meat is just good for you in general, but that's a whole other topic. Like all of those diets work. It's not really the specific method on the diet that you use. It just matters that you stay consistent in eating in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus, depending on your goals. Like the vehicle that you use, it doesn't really matter as much as just you being consistent. Like the majority of stuff out there, it works and it works well. Of course, we can get into like optimization, but as long as you're just like lifting, you're training hard, you're getting in enough volume, and you have a pretty good diet, like you're going to see results. It's just the main problem that people have, again, is that they're not consistent. If we put you in an F1 car and we tell you that you need to go around this racetrack as fast as you possibly can, you're not gonna see an improvement by getting an even faster car when you can't take the corners, when you don't know how to drive an F1 car. That's not the problem. The car is not the problem. You are. Okay? And this is something that took me years to figure out. And that's why I'm talking with so much passion about this, is because I thought my workout routine wasn't right. I thought my diet wasn't right. I needed to try this different diet, something else. But no, it was just me not staying consistent. Consistency is really everything. And it stems from one thing. And that one thing is the beliefs you have about yourself, the beliefs that you hold in your head. Because if you believe that you aren't able to do this, that you aren't able to eat clean, that you are a fat piece of shit, you will be a fat piece of shit no matter what. The first step to being consistent, it starts with you. It starts with you seeing yourself as a new person. Like when my diet was really shitty and I was really struggling to eat enough and track my calories and all that stuff, I saw myself as someone who struggled with that, who was having a really hard time putting on weight and putting on muscle. But eventually I just started seeing myself as a person who's just on top of his diet. He's doing his meal prep. He's doing all the things right. And guess what happened? Everything transformed. I've got my diet to the point where I have it on lock. I can like eat whatever, whenever. Like I've got my diet basically like 100% dialed in. Like of course I could probably make improvements with like micronutrients and other things like that. But compared to me being a sugar fiend and like 50% of my diet, like 50% of my calories literally just coming from sugar, like it's a huge improvement. So like your self-belief is going to lead to you taking the right actions. So if you look right here, we have beliefs / your self-image. Then right here we have your actions, and then here we have your goals. So the way that a lot of people do this is they try and go from the goals into the self-belief. But what ends up happening is that they never end up really taking the action. And this is why you see so many people that set these goals like, oh, 2025 is gonna be my year. I'm gonna get really jacked, I'm gonna get in really good shape, but then 3 months in, they still look the same. They still haven't touched a dumbbell in the last couple months. And that's because They're putting the goal first. They're imagining the goal and they're not really changing what really matters, which is your self-beliefs and your habits. Like if you can literally just get your beliefs and your habits down, you're going to get jacked. It's just a matter of time. So this is really what you need to focus on. Instead of seeing yourself as a person who's trying to get in better shape or trying to get consistent, you need to see yourself as a person who is consistent, who is doing the right things. And then you will become that person through just doing enough action. Like the belief is the seed you are planting in the ground, and the action you take every single day is you watering that seed, and eventually that seed is going to grow, and that's when you get super consistent. It's just those first like 1, 2, 3 months. That's when you go to war. That's when you're in the trenches and just trying to get through that tough period, but eventually it gets easier and you get more consistent. Really, for mindset and your habits, like it all just starts in your head. Like setting some specific habits you need to do every single day, and I'm gonna show you exactly which habits to do when we jump over on the computer and I show you all the frameworks and everything else, like the workout routines that you can use, like a diet plan, and then recovery and other stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you the other stuff you need to do and the exact habits you need to follow, but you still need to understand that everything, it just starts in your own head, all right? You're not gonna be able to achieve something that you don't believe in. So your actionable step right now is that you just need to take out a piece of paper and start writing down the traits of the person you wanna become. And I know this sounds like really like, ooh, like hippie. It sounds really weird to do this, to like write down the traits of the person you want to become, but trust me, this is one of the things that helped me make the most amount of progress. It really helped me change my self-image really quickly. So start writing down the traits of the person you want to become. And bro, if you can't even write down the traits of the person you want to become, like just click off this video, stay fat, you don't deserve results. Like if you can't even put in like 5 seconds of effort, what makes you think that you're gonna be able to go to the gym consistently? You're gonna be able to eat clean consistently? Like, come on, bro, just get out a piece of paper. So the traits that your person's probably gonna have is being disciplined. That's probably one. Disciplined, grit. Also think, like, how does this person think? How do they carry themselves? How do they present themselves to the world? Like, you really want to go in as much depth as possible and really trying to think of what this person specifically is going to, like, what they're going to be thinking, what they're going to be doing all the time. So you really need to think about, like, what kind of habits does the better version of me have? What's the kind of daily routine he follows? Like, what does he do when he encounters discomfort? When he's just finished a long day at work, he's just been through some shit, and now it's time to lift, and he doesn't feel like it. What's he gonna do there? How's he gonna get himself fired up to go to the gym? What's he gonna do? Like, you really need to try and think of what that person would do, and then just start doing that. Like, that's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten, is just like, if you're ever thinking about doing something, just run it by the better version of you and say what they would do. Like writing all this stuff down and like making this new version of you it's vital, because the current version of you can't get in shape. Like you can see that when you look in the mirror. The past version of me could not get in shape. I was still skinny no matter how much weightlifting I was doing. No matter what I was doing, I was staying skinny. So I had to become a new person who was consistent, who was doing the right things, who was pushing himself through discomfort. It's only when I became that new person that I started to grow, that my physique actually started to transform. So that's why this step is so vital. It's because you need to change as a person. You just need to, like 100%, you need to change. There's no other way around it. Right now, if you're inconsistent, if you're missing meals, if you're missing workouts and stuff like that, like obviously, again, the problem's not the workout routine. It's not anything else like that. It's you. See this as this like new chapter of your life, this new beginning. Like this is the chapter of your life where you're gonna be working really hard to get in great shape. You're really gonna start taking shit seriously now. Because again, that's really gonna help you with your whole mental state, becoming that new person. So just start seeing this as like the next chapter of your life, the chapter where you work hard to get in shape, the chapter where you lock in, you get shit done, you get into great shape. This needs to be the new chapter of your life. Now that you got the mindset down, we're gonna jump straight into the systems and everything like that. So I'll see you on the computer. Alrighty, so now that you have the mindset down, and that you've like removed all your limiting beliefs and you're actually able to start taking action, here's exactly what we're gonna focus on doing. So I'm gonna give you the entire program, everything to do. Like there's a workout in here. I'll show you quick hacks to make a diet plan and everything you need to know. So this is all the stuff that took me from this physique. I don't know why I circled the head, but yeah, it took me from this physique at about 155 pounds, 5'11". Like, yeah, it's an all right physique. It's all right. And then to this, which I'd say is a much better physique. I'm almost at 190 pounds here. It's 12 months apart. So yeah, so here's everything that I did to get those results. Now, the first thing is finding time. Because a lot of people, they struggle with this part. They say they don't have enough time because they're busy with school, they're busy with work, they're busy with managing their business and all these other things. Trust me, you have the time. You are going to be able to do this. Like, there's someone 10 times more busy than you who's probably in 10 times better shape, and he still finds time to go to the gym. You really just need to find the time in your calendar, and it only really takes 8 hours per week. So if I show you my calendar right here, so my calendar right here, you can see I was in the gym and meal prepping for about like 8-9 hours this week, and I'm going to the gym 5 days per week. Like, minimum you have to go 3 days per week, so this could technically just take you 7 hours per week to get in amazing shape. And that's also considering that you're spending like 4-5 hours every single week cooking. So if you're fast at cooking and you're fast at meal prep and all that shit, it could take even less time than 8 hours. The reason why you don't have time is because your priorities are off. You spend your time after work or outside of work on other shit. And the thing is, you're gonna have to sacrifice. Like, I love doing wrestling, I love Muay Thai, I love all combat sports, right? Like, if I didn't get into bodybuilding, I would probably be doing MMA or something else like that right now. And I was doing that for a while. Like, I wrestled for a season in high school. In my senior year, I did Muay Thai for 6-7 months. I did Jiu-Jitsu for like 6 to 7 months. Like, I love those sports, but I sacrificed them to focus on building muscle because I knew I could not have too many priorities in my life. Like, I already had work. That was one of my priorities. And you can really have like 3 priorities. So 1, that was work. 2, that was like gym. And that's about it. I didn't really have more space for more stuff in my schedule because I literally didn't have enough time in my schedule. So I had to sacrifice some things, and it sucks, but this is what it takes to get results. You're going to have to sacrifice. Just like how you're going to have to sacrifice eating a ton of bullshit processed food. How you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of comfort. Sacrifice, it's the name of the game. The reason why you don't have time is because you haven't sacrificed something. You haven't cut something out of your life. And also, don't think about it so negatively. Like, I'm never going to be able to do this thing again. I have to sacrifice this, this, and this. This just stinks. This is like the price you're paying to look amazing. This is the price that you are paying to have an amazing body. Like a 10 out of 10 physique. If you had to put a price tag on that, that's like $10 million. Like, it's priceless to have an amazing physique. This is just like a down payment you're putting on having an amazing physique. So don't look at it so negatively. Instead of thinking like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to do this again, think about it as, I'm building my dream body, and this is what it takes. So the actionable step right here is that you just need to manage your time and start living out of your calendar. So start setting up your calendar. Like, what I've done is I've set up the times I sleep, then the times I do deep work, like my morning routine, and then like when I go to my job. And then I'll also have the times where I meal prep, or I go to the gym. Like, I've got everything planned out in my calendar, so I know exactly what I'm doing every single day of the week, every minute of the day. I know what I'm doing. And of course, this is like the perfect day. Like, if I follow this 100%, that's an 100% like amazing day. Even if I only follow this like 50-60%, it's still an amazing day. So you can set up your calendar like this, and then set up the days that you want to lift. So then for the actual amount of days we're going to be going to the gym, anywhere from 3 to 6 days per week, that's where you'll see good results. So when you're trying to figure out how many days per week you want to lift, it really comes down to like what you can do consistently. Like, I know I can go to the gym 5 days per week consistently if my life depended on it. But if you can only go 4 days per week, don't choose a 6-day per week split. Because when you're inconsistent, you're going to be missing workouts. You're going to be missing volume. And that's going to end up biting you in the butt on the long term. So pick something that you know you can do. Bite off a chunk that you know you can chew. So if it's 3 days per week, there's nothing wrong with that. 3 days per week works amazingly. 4 days per week works great. 5 days a week works great. 6 days a week works great. It doesn't really matter how many days a week you're going to the gym. All of those things are going to get you good results. So now for the actual splits, here's like a 3, 4, 5, 6 day per week split. Like, if you're my one-to-one client, this is exactly the stuff that I'd be telling you to do. So if you're doing 3 days per week, and also these are just like sample programs, you can of course switch out exercises, put in stuff you like. What matters most is the general movement pattern. So if you don't like incline dumbbell bench press, you don't like this right here, you can switch it out for like a machine incline bench press or something else. Like, you get the idea. It's just the general movement pattern that matters. So for 3 days per week, we got upper, lower, full body. This is getting you in that range of like 6 to 25 weekly sets. If you're in that range, you're gonna see gains. So 4 days per week, right here. Like if you want to take these, you can like pause the video, write them down, take a picture, whatever you need to do. I'm not going to go through all of these. This is like, again, this is just a sample that you can play with. It's a template that you can modify. So 5 days per week, we got push, pull, legs, upper, lower. And then 6 days per week, it's push, pull, legs, rest, push, pull, legs. So the only things that really matter with training is number one is training hard. You always want to train 0 to 3 reps away from failure. And this is the part where most people are missing because trust me, training hard, it's not that fun. Like there's going to be days where it stinks. You don't want to push yourself to failure. Like today was one of those days for me. I had a pretty slow back and biceps workout. It was just one of those days that was kind of a slog, but I still pushed myself hard to make sure that I was getting in that range. And if I had to say there's one thing that like 90% of people do wrong in their training, it's just that they don't train hard. They don't. The majority of people are training like 5 to 10 reps away from failure. And that's nowhere near enough to actually stimulate muscle growth. So if you actually want to test how hard you're training and if you're training hard enough, try doing an AMRAP workout. So an AMRAP workout is going to be where you do 1 set per exercise for your workout. Let's say you were doing this upper body workout right here. So for incline dumbbell bench, you would take your normal weight and you would just go to absolute failure. Like you would get a spotter and you would just rep until you can't anymore, literally until you can't move the weight off your chest. Then after that, you'd move on to weighted pull-ups and do as many reps as you possibly could and just doing 1 set. And when you have 1 set, you're going to push a lot harder because you know you don't have more sets. Like it's a weird psychological thing where you push a lot harder if you only have 1 set, if you know you have less volume. So yeah, the first time I did this, I realized, holy shit, I am not training anywhere near hard enough. Like I took what I thought was my 15 rep max and did it for 30. So try doing an AMRAP workout. That's really going to let you know how hard you're training. And it's something you should be doing on like a 1 to 2 month basis to like test out if you're actually training hard. Now, the second thing that it's super important, always progressively overloading. When I started working out, I could bench the barbell, so like 45 pounds for 6 reps. And that was it. Like I was reaching failure. My arms were shaking on that last rep. A couple days ago, I hit 285 on bench. After 3 years of like bench pressing and progressively overloading and everything like that. It did not come in one day. It was a lot of like baby steps that added up over a long amount of time. So what you want to make sure that you're doing every single workout is that you're progressing just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. Like imagine like you're building a pyramid and every time you progress, you're adding like another piece to the pyramid, another brick. Like it doesn't seem like much in the moment, like, oh, I only got 1 more rep or I only added 5 more pounds. Like it doesn't seem like much, but doing that over a long enough time horizon is going to lead to insane results. So tiny steps every day, they lead to huge progress. So I would advise that you get this app right here called Strong. Yeah, so here it'll tell you like how many reps you did. And basically your goal every single workout is just to add 1 to this. So next workout, I'm going to do 13 reps. And that's what I did today. I did 13 reps on pull-ups. And I did 11 reps and 10 reps. And same thing with barbell rows. Like I did 85 kilograms instead of 80 today, which is like, I think it's like 170, 180 up in that range. So I was doing bent over rows with that. Like just every single exercise, you're just going to try and add like a rep or some weight. One or the other, just every single time you train. Now, the one thing you want to make sure that you're not doing is using improper form, because what a lot of people do is as they progressively overload, their form gets progressively worse. And this just keeps them from making any progress at all. And this is something that we absolutely want to avoid. So really for good form on any exercise, you can just search it up on YouTube. If I had to give you 3 channels that give really good lifting advice for like proper form, it's Jeff Nippard, Renaissance Periodization, and Jeremy Ether. I don't know how to spell his name or pronounce it. Ether, something like that. Yeah, all 3 of these guys, they will give you amazing advice on how to perform literally any lift. All right? So the most important thing for a lift is that you just get like full range of motion and you get that deep stretch. So like the bottom half of the rep is the most important one. So make sure that you're going all the way down, all the way up, and you just want to control the eccentric as well. Like I remember when I started bench pressing, I would use my chest as a trampoline and basically just like drop the weight onto my chest and try and bounce it up. Like I remember I came back from working out one day and I looked in the mirror and I just had fucking bruises all over my chest because I was using my chest as a trampoline. So don't do that. Just use good form. Use a weight that you can handle. Yeah, it'll humble you a little bit, but again, it's going to keep you from getting injured, and it's just going to help you make more gains. So next up, we have killer workouts. So what you need to do to have a really good workout is, one, you need to increase your body temperature. This is super important. This is going to help your joints get more loose. It's going to help your muscles get more warm. It's going to help you perform better. It's going to help you prevent injuries, like literally everything that you want. To increase your body temperature, you can like put a hoodie on and some sweatpants. That's always what I do. You can jump on like some cardio equipment for like a couple minutes and just get like your blood flowing and just like break a light sweat. That's what you want to do. Just get your body like just nice and warm. Now, next up, you want to get your joints warm. So just do some like dynamic stretches. So some arm circles, those are amazing for upper body. For lower body, like I'll do some leg swings like front to back and then side to side. Yeah, I use a routine from Jeff Nippard. It only takes like 2 to 3 minutes. If you just search it up, like Jeff Nippard optimal warm up on YouTube, that's like the entire routine that I use, and it works really well to get my joints warm. Then after that, I'll jump into my warm up sets for whatever exercise. So let's say I'm bench pressing and it's my first chest exercise of the day. I've done nothing else. This is my first chest exercise of the day. To get my chest nice and warmed up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my first warm up set with 10 reps with my 30 rep max. Then after that, I'm going to do 6 reps with my 15 rep max. And after that, I'm going to do 2 reps with my working weight. And if you don't know what these numbers are, you can basically just search up a 1 rep max calculator, and that'll tell you everything that you need to know. So 1 rep max, let's say 285. 285 is my 1 rep max. For my warm up, I should be using about 142. For my 15 rep max, I'll use 185. And yeah, then I'll just do my working weight from there. So that's how you get a good warm-up, and that's if it's the first exercise for a muscle group. Now let's say it's your second chest exercise. You moved on to some like incline dumbbell bench. Well, you don't need to do 3 warm-up sets again. What I usually do is I just do like a fuel set. Just get like the movement pattern down before jumping into it. So that's what I'll do to like warm up, just to like get myself ready for the workout. Now the next thing is like good hype music. I don't understand how people listen to like white girl music and get like hype for their next set. Like I want to get in like a good aggressive state of mind before hitting my next set. Like the kind of feeling you would get from listening to a heavy metal song or a drill song, like something that's like aggressive and you can feel the like aggressive emotion in it. I could never work out to like Juice WRLD or XXX or Lady Gaga. Like that stuff does not get me into that like good aggressive state of mind. Like when I train, I want to train hard. I want to be feeling aggressive. I want to be going into those sets like a little bit angry. Yeah, just a good tip just to have like better workouts in general. Just listen to some like good hype music that gets you into this like good aggressive state. And just stop listening to like depressing music in the gym. The next thing is that you don't want to fear the pain. What do I mean by this? So a couple weeks ago, I went to a heat club in Copenhagen. And we were going from like sauna, it was like stupidly hot. This like hippie dude with long hair walking around, pouring oils on the coals and stuff like that. And it was like really freaking hot. Like your eyes would sting if you opened them. So basically, we're surviving like 15 minutes of that and then going straight into a cold plunge for like 4 minutes after that. And then just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And the first time that I jumped into the cold plunge, immediately I was like, oh shit, like I'm going to start counting the time down. And that just made it so much more difficult to actually like make it through the 2 minutes. But then the next time, and then I went back into the sauna and I was getting like cooked alive in there. And then I came out and I jumped in the water, and this time I just like kind of accepted it. I didn't really try and fight it and think of like how fast I'm going to get out of there, how nice it was in the sauna. I just kind of accepted it and took like a deep breath and just let it happen. Like I knew it was going to be painful, so I just like let it happen. And that helped so much more. And I made it through those, and I made it all the way to 3 minutes, and it felt so much better than the other time where I just jumped in there. I'm like, oh shit, this is cold. I'm going to start my timer right away. And I was like counting down the seconds. That was so much more difficult. So with the pain on your sets, like pushing hard, pushing close to failure, it's not fun. It hurts. I get it. But if you like accept it and you're not trying to run away from it, you're just like, you're fine with being in pain. That's going to make it so much easier to have like a killer workout. And then last but not least, you need to remove distractions. You're in the gym to train, not to scroll reels, all right? So put your phone on airplane mode, download your music so you don't get distracted. Just focus on your workout. So that's literally everything you need to work out. Like, you have the training split. Like, as long as you have a good training split, you're training hard, you're focused on progressive overload, you have killer workouts, you're going to build an amazing physique. Like, that's literally everything you need for training. And you don't need to overcomplicate it with like, oh, I need inter-workout protein and I need 3.4 grams of carbs before every workout. Like, stop overcomplicating it. Just get the basics down, because the basics will go a very, very, very long way. If you're focused on like optimizing all these things that don't get you that much result and have like very little leverage, it's not going to help you. Like, this stuff right here is the 20% that's going to get you 80% of your results. Everything else is this 80% that's just going to get you 20% of results. So focus on the basics, get the basics down, focus on this 20%. Trust me, you're going to make amazing progress. So next up, we got nutrition. So this was me about a year ago. I was eating healthy. I was like kind of bulking, kind of not. I was not really tracking my calories. I wasn't taking my nutrition seriously. And that's why my physique looks like this after 2 years. Like, I could have made much, much, much better progress after 2 years. This is what most people look like after a couple months of following like a really good program with the right diet. And this is me a year later, put on 30 pounds. You get the deal. Really big difference, and it was only because of nutrition. And that's because nutrition is responsible for 80% of your gains in the gym. Now, nutrition is a lot more than just calories in, calories out. Everyone who says calories in, calories out, you can eat whatever food you want as long as it fits your macros. It's kind of bullshit. Like, you would make so much more progress if you just ate clean, because a lot of this sugary, processed bullshit is going to nuke your testosterone. And trust me, testosterone is one of the most important things for like building muscle. Like, professional bodybuilders who want to put on the most amount of muscle possible, or just people in general who start like blasting gear, something they always take is testosterone, because it's so freaking important for building muscle. So basically, this whole rant just means just don't eat junk food. We're going to eat clean. We're going to eat healthy. We're going to eat for nutrition, and that's what we're going to focus on. That's number one, not taste. So nutrition is going to be number one. Taste is going to be number two. Now, the food you're going to be eating, it's still going to taste good, but it's not going to taste anywhere nearly as good as like a Big Mac or like some fucking processed bullshit that's made in a lab by an army of scientists who are trying to make it as tasty as possible. Of course it's not going to be that good, but it can still taste pretty good. So with the specific diet that you should be following, like in terms of like, should you do keto, should you do carnivore, should you do animal-based, like what works the best? As long as you're not eating a ton of processed junk food, you're getting enough protein in, and you're eating some like good healthy food with like a good amount of minerals and vitamins and electrolytes, you're going to be golden. Like, you're going to be fine. It doesn't really matter if you're keto or if you're animal-based or if you're fucking vegan. I don't care. As long as you're just not eating a ton of processed bullshit, you're going to get jacked. And a lot of these people, I think especially around keto, they really argue like, oh, once you get into this state of ketosis, then you just start shredding fat. Keto only works because you're in a calorie deficit. Like, you can be on keto and get even more fat. It's just usually like a high-fat, high-protein diet's going to be a lot more satiating because your insulin isn't getting like increased as much and spiked as much. So our macro breakdown is we're going to have 20 to 50% of our diet be protein, 0 to 50% be carbs, and 20 to 50% fats. Now, why did I give you these ranges? Why did I not just tell you like a specific number that is the best? Because all of these work. Like, you really have to find something that works for you, because keto works, carnivore works, animal-based works. All of that shit works. You just need to do the things I was talking about before. All right. So you need to find some range that works for you. Now, for protein, like 20 to 50%, that should at least be like 1+ grams of protein per pound of body weight. And that should be more than enough. Like, currently, right now, I'm eating about 260 grams of protein every single day, but that's also because I'm eating 4,800 calories on a bulk. So since I'm eating so much, I'm eating more protein. Like, it's totally fine. Like, I know there's some science nerd out there freaking out that's like, oh, you should only be eating 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Like, again, as long as you just have the basics down, as long as you're just in these ranges, you're going to be fine. Another thing is calorie surplus or calorie deficit. Now, you should either be cutting or you should be bulking. So bulking is a stage where you're gaining muscle. It's a muscle gaining phase, and your cut is a fat loss phase. And I want you to think about those two things like that. Bulking is a muscle gain phase. Cutting is a fat loss phase, right? So the way you can determine if you should cut now, why should you cut or why should you bulk? Now, bulking is the single best way to build muscle. Now, the way you can determine if you need to cut or if you need to bulk is depending on like how much body fat you have. If you're at 20% or more body fat, it's time to cut. But if you're at anything under that, I really want you to bulk. And a lot of people, they don't want to bulk. They think they're going to get fat, that they're going to get like obese from a bulk. But that's only if you bulk incorrectly. Like if you go on a dirty bulk and you eat like a massive calorie surplus, like of course you're going to get fat. What you want to do is a lean bulk where you slowly gain weight and you gain a lot more muscle. So I'm going to go more into that, but trust me, you're not going to get like obese. You're not going to get super fat on the bulk if you do it right. So now the next thing that we need to do on a daily basis is we need to track our weight. Like the only way that we know that we're in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus is if we know if we're increasing in weight or decreasing in weight. And that's why it's so important that you track your weight daily. So when you track your weight, make sure it's first thing in the morning after you've just had a dump. So don't eat any food, don't drink any water until you've weighed yourself. So have a dump, don't eat anything, don't drink anything, weigh yourself. And then after that, you can do whatever you want. But that's what we need to do to track our weight daily. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to track our calories and macros religiously. Because if you're not tracking, you're slacking. And you have no idea if you're actually eating enough, if you're eating too little, if you're eating too much. You get the idea. You need to track your calories and you need to track your weight to know if your diet's on point. Now, for the bulk, you want to be in a 500 calorie surplus where you're gaining about 1 pound per week. If you go anywhere below a 500 calorie surplus, what you'll notice ends up happening is those people don't really gain weight. Even though they should be gaining like half a pound per week, what ends up happening most of the time is that they don't hit that goal because 200 calories is that's like a couple bites of food. And you don't live in a science experiment. So this 500 calorie surplus, it gives you a little more space and room for error. So that's why I'd say it's better to eat in a 500 calorie surplus. Anything below this, you're just not going to see as good of results. And the next thing is that we're eating whole, clean foods. Like if you're on a fucking bulk and you're going to Wendy's every day, you're just being retarded. So just eat whole, clean foods. You'll build a lot more muscle and you'll thank yourself in the future because you don't constantly feel like shit from eating shit food. Your gut is like your second brain. And every time you're nuking your gut with like more junk food and more unhealthy stuff, it's affecting your brain. It's making you feel like shit. So that's another reason why you should be eating whole, clean foods. Then 3 to 5 meals per day for bulking. That's about the sweet spot because anywhere below this, it becomes extremely difficult to like eat enough. And anywhere above this, like then you're just basically having like snacks every 2 hours. It's just easier to have like 3 to 5 meals per day. Me personally, I've been eating 3 meals per day and that's been working out just fine. Now, last but not least, you really want to drink lots of water and stay hydrated. This is going to help like expand your stomach so your stomach gets used to holding more food, which is like vital for bulking. Because the biggest struggle a lot of people have when bulking is eating enough. So staying hydrated, it's really going to help you eat more. On to the cut. So for the cut, we want to be in a 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit. This is like the sweet spot for like losing the most amount of fat and the least amount of muscle. So we want to be losing about 1 to 2 pounds per week. Now, something that's going to help you a lot with like staying full and consistent with the cut is a high protein satiating diet. The reason why keto works so well for so many people is because fat and protein is a lot more filling than carbs. And this is why a lot of people preach keto and they said, oh, I started eating keto and I got shredded. It must be keto, something special. No, it's because they started feeling more satiated, so they didn't want to eat as much. So yeah, a high protein, high fat diet is probably going to help you if you're cutting. Now, another thing, again, is eating whole foods. They're going to be more filling. Now, intermittent fasting is also another very popular strategy where, let's say for 8 hours of the day, only in this chunk, that's the only 8 hours you're allowed to eat. And all other 16 hours you have to fast. Most people just skip breakfast when they're doing intermittent fasting and have their first meal at like 1, 2 o'clock. And what this does is it makes it harder for you to overeat in that 8-hour window. Because now you have less time to eat food, so you're probably going to eat less food in general. So that's why intermittent fasting works really well. If you're getting cravings, ask yourself, would you eat some pure protein right now? Like, would you just have like an unseasoned just piece of protein? Would you eat that? If you would, then you're actually hungry. But if you're not, then that's just a craving. Like a lot of people use food as like a drug and use taste as like a way to escape or just to like smash their dopamine button. Yeah, this is just a really good test to see if you're actually hungry or if you're just craving. And the majority of the time, people they get cravings and they give into them because they think they're actually hungry. This is a good test to give yourself to see if you're actually hungry. Now, how are we going to execute this? We're going to make a meal plan and we're going to meal prep. So this is something that we need to put in our calendar. So as you see, I meal prepped on Friday. I meal prepped on Monday. My next meal prep is coming up in a couple days. And having a meal plan that you follow makes it so much easier because now you know exactly what you're going to cook for your meal prep. So the way that I made my meal plan is, honestly, I just used ChatGPT because you just need to ask ChatGPT a specific prompt and it's going to deliver. So let's say, make me 5 different meal plans with 3,500 calories, 3 meals per day, tasty, nutritious foods with lots of greens and meat. And then you can get super specific. So if you know you have some like specific foods that you really like, put them in here. But yeah, let's see. What's ChatGPT gonna do? What's he gonna cook up? All right. So steak and eggs powerhouse. This looks pretty fire. I could modify this again and tell it make it more budget friendly because like steak and eggs isn't super budget friendly. Salmon isn't super budget friendly. You get the idea, right? But you can literally just use ChatGPT to like give you a general idea and like it works super well. It's so fucking underrated. Like the amount of good meals that you can make on the spot, and like this can just be an inspiration. Like you see these ingredients and you can add your own ingredients and figure out what you would like, but you get the idea, right? You can just use ChatGPT to like make you a meal plan just like that. So that's everything for diet. Just make yourself a meal plan. Like when you get home from work and you've just trained, do you really want to stand up, go to the kitchen, cook a ton of food? No. You can go to the fridge, grab some meal prep, and just start eating your food. That's so much easier than like cooking up an entire meal from scratch. So yeah, that's just been like the number one hack I've used that's really helped me get stupidly consistent with my diet. Now for sleep and recovery. So recovery is stupidly important because this is where your gains are made. Your gains are made while resting, not lifting. When you're in the gym, you're making your muscles weaker. You're training them hard. You're destroying muscle fibers. Now when we're recovering, that's when we make this little bit of progress right here. So this is absolutely vital. We need to have good recovery. So what does it take to have good recovery? Well, the most important thing is literally just rest and get good sleep. This is the highest ROI thing because you can do as much cold plunge and sauna and stretching and all these other things to like recover just a little bit faster. But again, this is the most important shit right here. As long as you are just resting and you're getting good sleep, that's literally all you just really need to focus on. It's just having rest days from the gym where you're letting a muscle group recover and then just getting a good amount of sleep every single night. It's literally that simple. Everything in the fitness space, it really gets overcomplicated a ton. People are giving you all this overcomplicated shit that's just overcomplicated for no reason. Like the basics, I've only done the basics, and it's gotten me pretty fucking good results. So just stick to the basics, master the basics, and then you can move on to all the advanced shit if you want. It's not even necessary to do all the advanced shit if you want to get in good shape. So for sleep, we just need to get 8 hours of sleep per night. And it kind of varies from person to person. Some people do better with 9, 10 hours per night. But like 8 hours per night, that's usually like the bare minimum that most people need. If you're one of these people telling me that you get like 5, 6 hours of sleep every single night and you feel fine, you're probably so sleep deprived and you've been used to that for so long that you don't know what it's like to actually get good sleep. Like last night, I'll be 100% honest. I was up late. I was up with some friends. And I got shitty sleep. Like I got home at 12 and I woke up at like 6 today. I did not feel great. And that's just from like one bad night of sleep. But if you repeat that again and again and again, basically that becomes your new baseline because you don't remember what it felt like when you got good sleep. So just get 8 hours of sleep per night. Sleep consistency is the most important thing for quality. So just like if you see here in my calendar, I go to bed at 9, I wake up at 5. That works really well for me. 7 days a week is ideal. If you stay up late like 1 day per week, that's completely fine. Like 6 days of good sleep per week, that's absolutely fine. Now, when we're getting into that more like 5-4 range, that's when things start getting a little more fucked up. So just really just try and stick to this 6 to 7 days per week. The thing you want to focus on when you're building a new sleep routine is you want to focus on your wake up time a lot more than your bedtime. Because a lot of people, they focus on their bedtime, and let's say they want to start going to bed at 9 o'clock and they usually go to bed at 11. Well, normally their body's used to falling asleep at 11, so the mechanisms that start going in your body, they don't start until like 11 to fall asleep. So for those 2 hours, they lay awake and they're like, shit, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to be sleep deprived. So then they set their alarm for 7, and then they try again with the bedtime, and then the same thing happens again and again and again and again. But if you focus on the wake up time, and you wake up at 5, and you've only gotten 6 hours of sleep, and you keep repeating that for a couple days, I bet that by like the third or fourth day, you're going to be in bed on time at 9 o'clock. And you're going to be falling asleep a lot easier at that time as well. So focus on the wake up time. Like, fuck the bedtime. Focus on the wake up time. Now, a good bedtime routine that's going to help you wind down is just no screens 1 hour before bed. Simple as that. Just stay off the screens. Relax. Let yourself process the day. Take a warm shower. Journal. Do some other shit. Just relax. And then, of course, just don't take drugs. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Unless you're doing tren. That's absolutely fine. But weed, alcohol, and the majority of drugs are going to nuke your sleep. So just don't take them. These things, all of these absolutely fucking nuke your sleep. Like, you might get more sleep because weed helps you fall asleep faster, but it fucks up your quality. You'll have really bad quality sleep. It's like the same as you going to the gym for like 4 hours, but you only do like 3 sets. Like, yeah, you went to the gym for 4 hours, but it wasn't a quality workout. It wasn't good. And that's basically the same shit you're doing whenever you're taking weed or alcohol to fall asleep, is that you're getting more duration, but for what? The quality shit. Like, you'd be better off if you just got like 6 hours of sleep completely sober. Like, you would wake up and feel much better. All right, and then last but not least, we have stress management. So stress increases cortisol and it reduces your testosterone. So something that helps a lot is just reducing your stress by relaxing. So get off your DMs, stop working, and do something else for like the last 2-3 hours of the day. I get it, you're busy, you got a lot of stuff you want to do, but you also need to give yourself some time to like mentally recover every single day so your cortisol isn't sky high all the time. That's basically everything for today. If you follow this, you're going to get in amazing shape. You're going to be a completely new person in a couple months. That's everything. If you found value in this, subscribe. I'll probably be dropping some sauce like this again, or more mindset videos and stuff like that. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting stories daily with like little like lessons and shit like that, and other helpful stuff. You'll also be able to see like, oh, Vinny's training again. He's looking jacked. Oh, so yeah, you can also DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. And yeah, as always, take care, brother.